So we're going to dedicate today's class to Helen Friedman, Chinka, Bas, Yisrael Chaim. We just came, Svi was there, we just came from a funeral today. And you see, she's already pulling strings. She's already, look what happened, something so historical. And we expected to pull a lot more strings up there. So I'm just going to mute everyone. You can always unmute yourself. And we're going to discuss today's Parsha is called Re'eh, you should see. Moshe is telling the Jewish people that you should see, Re'eh. And this was an upgrade for the Jewish people because it's one thing to hear. You know, 2 weeks ago we had, last week, we had the Parsha of Ekev Tishmun, you should hear. There's a huge difference in hearing and seeing. When you hear something, you can still be objective, you can still be detached. When you see something, it's almost impossible for you to really be objective. That's why a witness cannot be a judge. When it comes to capital punishment, or let's say a murder case, the witness cannot be a judge. Because if you witnessed, if you see it with your own eyes, you lose your objectivity. You've seen it. Seeing is so much more powerful than hearing. You can learn about something. You can know about something. You heard all about it. And then you see it. You learn about a country. You read all about it. You heard all your life about it. And then for the first time in your life, you go see it. You see one of the 7 wonders of the world. You actually see it and experience it. You can't even compare. It's a whole different experience. And the difference in hearing and seeing, when you hear something, you can still have a doubt. You heard something and then someone challenges you and says it's impossible. You couldn't have heard that. It makes no sense. Einstein will tell you it's impossible. That's nonsense. You could never have heard that. And then you'll start doubting, maybe I didn't hear correctly. But if you see the sun is shining and 10 Einsteins will bring you irrefutable proof, proof to you with irrefutable logic that it's impossible for the sun to be shining now. Would you doubt for a moment? Would you waver for a moment? No. I see it. I see what I see. I see the sun. I can't refute your logical arguments, but I see what I see. There's no arguing with that. So the idea of seeing is so powerful. And Moshe is trying to elevate the Jewish people that their Yiddishkeit, their relationship with godliness should be one of seeing, not just hearing, not just understanding, perceiving, perception, but it's actually seeing. And Yiddishkeit is based on that foundation. The foundation of the Jewish people was all something that we've seen, we've experienced. We saw the miracles. We were there. We saw the splitting of the sea. We saw the 10 plagues. We saw Hashem at Sinai. We saw the manna every day and the water coming out of the rock and the clouds of glory. We stood at the temple. When a Jew went to the temple, he saw 10 miracles. It wasn't just he heard, he perceived, he understood. You saw it, you witnessed, you experienced it. And that explains how the Jewish people can have the strength. Where do we get the strength to stand up to all this opposition? When 99.9% of the world came down on us and comes down on us like a ton of bricks, where did the Jew get the strength, the fortitude, the courage to stand up to all that pressure? I mean, we're human. When Aristotle is laughing, Plato is laughing, everyone is opposed, right, left, center, middle. Not only don't they appreciate what the Jew represents, but they actually try to crush us and murder us. Where did the Jew get the strength to be able to overcome After all, doesn't the Torah say you should follow the majority? The Torah itself says you should follow the majority. So if the majority of the world is opposed to you, the Talmud says, if one person calls you a donkey, ignore them. If two people call you a donkey, ignore them. When three people call you a donkey, buy yourself a saddle. If the entire world is opposed, don't even have a flicker of a doubt. Maybe they have a point. Could everyone be wrong? Right, left, center. Everyone has it so wrong. Maybe I'm so certain. Maybe they have a point. Maybe they're right. And yet, we never wavered. We never doubted. Because when you see, if I see with my eyes that the sun is shining, the whole world can tell me that the sun is not shining. I don't even have a flicker of a doubt. I see what I see. The Jews saw godliness. We experienced it. We witnessed it firsthand. So all the philosophers and all the wise chachamim and the wise men of Chelm, everyone is coming and arguing and opposed and viciously opposed and trying to laugh at us and ridicule us and attack us and malign us. I know what I see. If you know that 2 + 2 is 4, and everyone in the world is trying to convince you that 2 + 2 is 5, and they get angry at you, how dare you say 2 + 2 is 4? Are you going to doubt for a moment that 2 + 2 is 4? But this is a very thankless position. It's like the story with the community. Everyone in the community is blind, and there's one person who's able to see. You would think, right, that the people would be appreciative. You have one person who can guide them, who can lead them, but that's not what happens. The people get angry at the person that sees. They want to gouge out his eyes. They want to kill him. Not only don't they appreciate, he says, I can see, let me guide you, let me show you the direction, let me tell you what to avoid. This is a pitfall, this is an obstacle, stay away from here, go here. Not only don't they want to be led, they get angry and they want to kill viciously, tear the visionary apart limb by limb. It's a thankless job, but we wouldn't replace it for anything else. The gift of being able to see that even in the darkness and the confusion and the chaos, just to have that clarity, to be able to see things clearly, crystal clear, and to see the emes, see the truth, see things as they are. When you see things, you're seeing it as it is. When you hear something, you're interpreting it in your mind. So you think you understand. And if someone can challenge you, then suddenly you have a doubt. Maybe I don't understand it correctly. But when you see something, your ego is out of the picture. I see the thing itself. You're completely lost. You're mesmerized by what you see. You're completely lost. You forget about yourself. You just are taken in by this wonder. You're watching one of the wonders of the world. You just completely forget about yourself and you just absorb by what you see. So what you see, you're seeing the thing itself. And that's why every Jew knows Hashem. We know Hashem because we see Hashem. The neshama, our neshama sees Hashem. When you see Hashem, it's so clear, it's so crystal clear to you. I see Hashem himself. It's not philosophy. Philosophy is something that you hear, you think about, you perceive, you have an abstract image. But someone could throw in a doubt. There could be a counter argument. Someone could shake you up in your philosophy. But when you see, I see it, the thing itself. I see godliness. I see Hashem himself. And when you see, you cannot really be objective. The truth is, a Jew cannot be objective. We are not objective. When it comes to Hashem, Just like the Torah says you're not allowed to take bribes. Why? Because when you take a bribe, it affects you. You can no longer, you lose your objectivity. It could be the smallest bribe. The Talmud gives us examples of the smallest bribes. The moment, even someone says hello to you, if he never said hello to you, and suddenly now he's being nice to you and says hello to you, you already look upon him in a nice way and you lose your objectivity. You are no longer allowed to judge that person. So the Rebbe Rashab, the fifth Lubavitcher Rebbe said, he said it's true. A Jew, we like bribed. We cannot see honest objectively. When it comes to Hashem, we're smitten. We just, our mind doesn't think straight. Because we see Hashem, because of our faith and our connection, because we see Hashem, yes, it affects our mind. Our mind starts thinking and we start perceiving. Wherever we look, we see godliness. We perceive godliness. Yes, it affects the way we think. We're not objective. We can't be objective. We're too close. We're too connected. We see. The witness is not allowed to be a judge because he loses his objectivity. We are not, when it comes to Hashem, a Jew is not objective. We can't. Too close to home. We see God. We see Hashem. I'm not a witness. I see. I am a witness. I'm sorry, I am a witness. I can't be a judge. I can't be detached. I can't observe. I'm not an observant. A Jew cannot be observant. Observe means I observe from a distance. I'm detached and I'm objective. A Jew is a witness. God says, Atem Eda, you are my witnesses. Every Friday, a Jew gets up and gives testimony. That's why we stand up. And we say, Hashem concluded his creation, and on the seventh day, and he rested. We are giving testimony. And the truth is, every Jew, by his very being and his very existence, gives testimony to Hashem. When a Jew is walking down the street, a Jew walks down Park Avenue, if there are any Jews left in Park Avenue, when a Jew walks down Park Avenue, he's walking testimony of the reality of Hashem, that this Jew has survived Hitler and Stalin, from the fascist and the communist, who both tried to murder us, and that this Jew has survived the Order de Fez and the pogroms and the crusades and the inquisitions and the exiles and the destructions and the hatred and the non-relentless, non-stop, that this Jew has survived. He's a walking miracle. He's a walking testimony to the reality of Hashem. So that's what Moshe, this is the power, the energy of this week's Parshat. Re'eh. Moshe is empowering the Jewish people. Re'eh. The Torah is empowering us. You should see. You should see godliness. Yiddishkeit should be something that you see. When you see something, you experience it. It's intimate with you. Hearing is abstract. You hear a sound. I can't see sound. It's abstract. It only affects my hearing and my mind. It's abstract. When you see something, it's physical. It's tangible. I see something physical. When I see something, it's real. It's very real. Very powerful. It becomes intimate. Something that I experience. So this Parsha is empowering the Jew that our Yiddishkeit should be Re'eh, something that we should witness, we should experience. It should be intimate. We should be crystal clear about our Yiddishkeit. We should have that clarity. Even though all around us there can be darkness and chaos and confusion and nonsense and crookedness and distortions, but a Jew sees straight. We see things clearly. And when we see things clearly, if our lens is focused, if our lens is not blurred, we bring clarity to the whole world. Suddenly the whole world comes into focus. Everyone sees things clearly. Suddenly a lot of the nonsense just washes away. Chaos, confusion, nonsense, upside down thinking, crooked thinking, distorted thinking. When a Jew has clarity, when we are able to see things as is, unwavering, it brings clarity. It brings the whole world into focus because we are the heart of the world. Whatever happens within us, each one of us individually and collectively, happens to the whole entire world. Hashem placed the whole world in our hearts. We are the microcosm of the world. So if we're able to see, if we have that vision, and we have that clarity, and when you have vision and clarity, you also have the courage of your conviction, and you can communicate that vision. Because vision is very powerful. The Arizal, the greatest Kabbalist that ever lived, Rabbi Isaac Luria, who moved from Egypt to Tzvat, and that's where he taught his Kabbalah, which was 1 year, and he passed away very young. We discussed him earlier in the week. So one Shabbat, it was Parshat Balak, he said that while he was asleep, his soul went to heaven. He says, and what he saw, what he heard, and what he experienced, in that hour, while he was napping on Shabbat afternoon, it would take him 70 to 80 years to begin to describe, to put into words what he was experiencing. But that's like when you see something. You know, when you hear something, okay, you hear an idea. It could be a profound idea. It could be an earth-shattering idea. It won't take you 70, 80 years to express it. Maybe it'll take you some time to be able to explain it. But when you see something, you've witnessed something, you've experienced something, it's totally beyond the whole frame of reference of anything you've ever experienced before in your life. It can take you 70, 80 years to begin to describe the experience that you had. It's like they say the difference between Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the author of the Zohar, the Arizal, Ari Achai, the living Ari, the lion, the greatest Kabbalist, and the Baal Shem Tov. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was like someone who came to the Jewish people. He said, I heard that in the distant land there's this great king. And let me describe to you what I heard of his greatness. That's the Zohar. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is describing and his description of Hashem and the regality and the profoundness and the mysticism and the secret of Hashem's grandeur. But it's something that he heard. The Arizal took it a step further. Rabbi Isaac Luria came to the Jewish people and he said, I've seen it with my eyes. Let me describe to you what I have seen. And he describes in the Kabbalah in great detail the vastness, the levels of infinite myriads of worlds and contractions and parallel universes. And, you know, we never even had a clue. It's like until the time of the Arizal, just like then, people thought there were only a few thousand stars in the heavens because that's all you can see. It was only in the times of the Arizal, with the telescope, suddenly they were able to see these billions and zillions and trillions and gazillions stars, galaxies. We never even knew. We had no idea. We didn't even have a clue. And suddenly all of that emerged. That the Arizal revealed the infinite complexities of the universes and the infinite universe. And so the Arizal is telling the Jewish people, I have seen it. Okay, and I'm going to explain to you what I'm seeing. I heard. I'm seeing it. And he tried to convey, and he successfully conveyed what he's seen and what he has experienced. Comes along the Baal Shem Tov and says, come with me. I want you to see. You are going to see for yourself. The Baal Shem Tov taught us to open our eyes and to realize how Hashem is recreating us each and every moment. The world is being recreated. Creation is dynamic. The godly divine energy, which is infinite, is, as we speak, transforming itself into the table, you and I, the material. The world is dynamic. The world is vibrant. The world is pulsating with godliness. The physical, the material, all of existence is nothing other than the divine, godly energy, this infinite energy in this infinite process where the divine energy, the act of creation, is transforming itself into the physical, into the material. The Baal Shem Tov says, come come, see for yourself. Godliness is within you. Hashem is within inside of you. It's located at the very center of your being. It's not something otherworldly outside. Don't trust me. I see. You see. And Alter Rebbe expounded and helped every Jew to see godliness with the eye of your mind. Not just to experience godliness, not just some abstract philosophy, Chabad, some abstract philosophy, but Chabad to actually experience it, to sense it, to perceive it, and almost as if you see it with your eyes. Not with our naked eye, with our physical eye. That will happen the moment Mashiach comes. But up until that moment, with the eye of our mind, where Yiddishkeit becomes, godliness becomes intimate, personal, real. It's within me. Hashem is right here. It's within me. It's all around me. It's within me. It's alive. It's pulsating. What others call radical immanence, the radical immanence of Hashem. Hashem is within us. Hashem is alive within us. Hashem is real, is actual, right here, right now. You and I, me, it means this moment. It's actual, it's real, it's tangible. This is what Moshe is telling us in this week's Parsha, and this is the name of the Parsha, and this is the energy of this Parsha, Re'eh, a whole Torah portion named See. Yiddishkeit becomes so alive for us that it's something that we see directly, experientially, personally. And that leaves a lasting impression. Once you taste Yiddishkeit on that level, it's not just abstract, but you feel it, you experience it, you see it. It not only does it affect your godly soul, it even affects your animal soul, your nature, your natural self, your ego, your physical self. You can't help but be affected. Just like when you see physical. Because seeing is so profound, it's able to reach so far. Hearing is limited. Hearing is not so profound as seeing, and that's why it could only affect the more spiritual self. I hear sound waves. It affects my mind. But seeing, because seeing is so profound, that's why seeing ultimately affects and even reaches all the way down to the physical. So when Yiddishkeit becomes something that you see, it transforms you. It changes you. Even your physical nature, suddenly, it refines you. And now, what I desire godliness. My life is godliness. That's what I live for. And this is especially relevant today, this week's Parsha, this year, when we can open our eyes and see what's happening around us. Right before Shabbos, in the olden days, in the times of the Talmud. So before Shabbos, they blew the shofar, they sounded the shofar a few times, or the trumpets, the shofar. Before Shabbos. And the reason they blew the shofar was to tell everyone, the farmers, to put down your tools and head home, because Shabbos is about to come, to start, and you have to get ready. And then they blew, and the people who had the stores, who were selling everything you need for Shabbos, you know, the shuk in Jerusalem, our trips to Israel, that will be our first stop. Right before Shabbos, you go to the shuk in Jerusalem. It was a madhouse. Everyone is shopping right before Shabbos. This one's buying chalava, and this one is buying this and that. Right before Shabbos, and then you hear the sound, you hear the siren, you hear the shofar, and everyone closes shop. You go home. You got to get ready for Shabbos. And then you sound the shofar, and then it's time to light the candles. So it's so clear, everything that's happening now. Hashem is sending everyone home. He shut down businesses all over the world. Never happened in human history. 2 billion people were completely shut down. In Australia, they just shut down now for another 6 weeks. The place is a ghost town. My brother's in Melbourne. You look at the pictures, it's a ghost town. Everyone is shut down. Everyone is at home. And it doesn't even make sense if you think about it. The rate now of the corona is even less. Hey, those who are older and those who have underlying conditions have to be careful. But for people under 65, it's less than the flu. The amount of people under 65 who died is less than the flu. It doesn't even make sense that the whole world should shut down for these numbers. In the Spanish flu, millions of people died. Tens of millions, I don't even know the numbers. But in this virus, children, maybe there's one child who died. In some states, not even a single child. Children cannot even convey it. There's every scientific evidence that children don't even have the ability to convey the virus to anyone else. People under 65, the amount, the percentage of people is less than the flu. And yet, everything is shut down. They still don't allow people inside restaurants, inside stores. Schools, some of the biggest schools are not opening up. Logically, this whole thing makes no sense. Obviously, there's something much, much greater going on. In the Code of Jewish Law, in the laws, number 250, in the laws of Shabbat, it says how Friday afternoon they would shut down all the schools. Everyone had to go home to prepare for Shabbat. Even the greatest rabbis got involved in the preparation of Shabbat. They personally would chop the wood, even though during the week they would never do that. But in the honor of Shabbat, they would personally roll up their sleeves. The greatest rabbis, most illustrious rabbis, would chop the wood and salt the fish, and whatever it took to prepare for Shabbat. So Hashem is preparing us for the ultimate Shabbat, when He's going to light the Shabbat candles, the Shabbat of Mashiach. When in that moment when you light the candles and suddenly peace, a hush, a silence, a peacefulness descends into the house. Friday afternoon, everyone's running around like a chicken without a head. Last minute shopping. You have to shower. You have to pick up from the cleaners. Everything has to be done. And suddenly, in one moment, those candles go on. The candles are lit. Everyone is dressed in their royalty and their finest. The table is set. Delicious food. And Shabbat enters, and the peace of Shabbat. And everyone is regal. Your home becomes a palace. But you need preparations. So to prepare for Shabbat, you have to close down the schools. You have to, before Shabbat, you have to close the business. You have to go home. You have to prepare. It's clear that Hashem is preparing us and preparing the whole world for Shabbat. The time has come. Mashiach is ready to come. Elijah is ready to blow the shofar to conclude the entire exile. And Hashem is about to light the Shabbat candle to usher in the day when every day and all day will be Shabbat. A day of rest, a day of rejuvenation, a day of pleasure, a different day than the rest of the week. We're about to transition into a whole different reality than up until this point. So Hashem shut everything down, sending everyone home to prepare for Shabbat, to prepare spiritually for Shabbat. We have to clean our clothes, clean our garments, make sure our thought, speech, and action, we think Jewish, act Jewish, speak Jewish. We study more Torah, like we're doing now. We're doing mitzvot, praying, giving tzedakah. We're getting ready. This is it. This is l'cha dodi l'krat kala. We're about to greet the bride. That moment that we've been waiting for 5,780 years is literally about to happen. This is happening. There's no other explanation to explain what's really going on. It doesn't even make sense. So Re'eh, we have to open our eyes and see. It's happening, unfolding. Hashem is shaking up the whole world. He's trying to get us ready. But we have to focus. Re'eh. We have to put our lenses in focus. You know, when you wear the binoculars, if it's out of focus, everything is blurry. But then you put it into focus and you see the most beautiful thing. And when we are in focus and we are prepared, then the whole world will come into focus. And everyone will see godliness, experience the emes, experience the truth. And this world will usher in a world of Shabbat, a world of pure pleasure, a world of truth, a world of kindness, a world of delight, a world of wholesomeness, both material and spiritual abundance and blessing and pure pleasure. But we are the active participants through our preparation. And through the A, by us bringing our own lens into focus, bringing our own life into focus, seeing godliness, experiencing that intimacy, we will facilitate, fast forward, that Hashem will light that Shabbat candle a minute earlier, and this will be the last moment of exile, and the next moment will be the first moment of Shabbat, and this Shabbat will celebrate on the Upper East Side of Jerusalem with the Grand Kiddush, the Sheir Habar and the Levyasan, 14 million Jews dancing in the streets of Yerushalayim, and 7 to 8 billion people, all of them being transformed into righteous Gentiles who will acknowledge the sovereignty of Hashem and live a Noahide life by the Noahide code, universal code of the 7 Noahide laws, a civilized life, a life of law and order. Yes, maybe when Mashiach will come, it says we won't need the police because everyone will police themselves. Everyone will be so tuned in, you won't need. So again, all the nonsense that's going on, it's all nonsense and it's ridiculous. But everything has a kernel of truth. They fund the police because Mashiach is coming. We don't need the police. Everyone will be on the high. You won't need to force anyone to do the right thing. Everyone will be so tuned in. When you see godliness, you're not even tempted to do the wrong thing. When you have that clarity and you see right from wrong and you see Hashem, you're not even tempted. You don't need external factors to keep you in line. You don't need police. So this is the time Hashem is preparing us for that time. It's happening. Open your eyes. You can see it. It's unfolding. Hashem is shaking us all up, shaking up the world. And we don't want to go back to normal. We didn't go through all of this just to turn the clock back so we can go back to January 2020. No. Then why did we go through this whole thing? We went through all of this. Hashem is preparing us for something much, much better, for something completely different. We're going to enter into a whole different dimension of reality, of existence, of life. And I think a lot of people did take advantage of this time to really reflect on their lives, what matters, what doesn't matter. You know, after 6 months of no shopping, no theater, no restaurants, no traveling, you really get to clarify and focus. It puts into focus what's real in life. What do I really need in life? What's life really all about? When you strip away all the props and all the externals, and you're left with the emes, the core, the center, the essence. These are all externals. That's just means to an end. But now you realize what is alive. When am I alive? If I connect with Hashem, if I'm connected to the source of life, I'm alive. And I study Torah, I'm alive. I do a mitzvah, I'm alive. I give tzedakah, I'm alive. I do an act of goodness and kindness, I'm alive. Everything else is just a means to an end. So a lot of people spend time with their families, more time than they've ever spent their entire lives, realize the importance and the value of family. So this is really a time to really put our lives into focus, re'eh, and really become, I don't think when this is over, we're just going to go back to the mindless materialism that we had before. I think a lot of people realize that that's not me. That's not what my life is about. I don't need that. I don't need any of that. I can live a full life without any of these props. And that's a beautiful, powerful lesson, I think, that's going to stay with us. So we're not just looking to go back. We're looking to go into something much bigger, better, deeper, higher, more profound, more genuine, a much better world. The world of Shabbat, the world of Mashiach. And it's real, it's happening, it's down to earth, it's physical, it's practical. And we just have to make ourselves intimate with Hashem, see Hashem, experience Hashem, and may it happen before the Shabbat. And this Shabbat we'll celebrate together, all of you in person, on the Upper East Side of Yerushalayim. If anyone has any comments, thoughts, you don't have to agree with anything that was said, please mute yourself and please share.
I have a question.
Yes.
In the Kedusha for Musaf, and the part we sing, you know, Hu Elokeinu and so on, it says, and Hashem will, and I'm paraphrasing, Hashem will let us, the Jews, hear in the sight of every living thing that, behold, this is, I'm redeeming you from your final exile. And that phrase always catches me, you know, where you will hear, not see, but hear in the sight, but only in the sight of the others. You follow what I'm saying here? Is that related to the concept of this Parsha, where the rest of the world is seeing, but not, it seems to be they're seeing but not hearing, and we're hearing but not seeing that motion of redeeming from the final exile?
Well, we start out with the Shema Yisrael. Shema is hear, O Israel. That's how we start out. Before Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, then we say Hu Elokeinu, Avinu, He's our God, He's our Father, He's our King. He's going to help us, and He's going to let it hear. It starts with hearing. We're going to hear the shofar of Elijah the prophet. So it starts with hearing. But it ends up that not only we're going to see it, but it's going to become visible for everyone. That all 7 to 8 billion people will see that the Jewish people are being redeemed.
But does it also mean the non-Jews won't hear what we're hearing?
No, the non-Jews will also see. Even they are going to see the redemption. They're going to see how the Jewish people are being redeemed, and they're going to see and experience and the Jewish redemption, because the Jewish redemption also elevates and affects the whole entire world. But it starts with the Jew, and the Jew will bring redemption to the whole entire world, and they will see it and experience it.
And that seeing there, is that related to the concepts of this Parsha here? I mean, it could have said here, and instead of using sight and sound, it could have been know. You know, the whole world will know that
right. 100 years ago, it was hard to imagine Mashiach coming because you lived in the shtetl. How in the world, if Mashiach came at the other end of the world, how in the world are you going to find out? Today, with Zoom, with the internet, today in one split second, all 8 billion people see at the same time, simultaneously. We can see. We can all be tuned in. Why do you think Hashem made iPhones? Again, everyone is plugged in today. So Mashiach can come in a split second and everyone can see. We're all going to see it, and we're all going to witness it, and we're all going to experience it together. Now you understand what it means. I don't know if 100 years ago, 200 years ago, surely they had no idea how that's even possible. It would be something miraculous.
Yeah.
Today, it's the most natural thing in the world. Everyone is plugged in. In one instant, in one split second, everyone sees, everyone experiences. Shelley, you wanted to say something? You have to unmute yourself. One second.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I have several questions, but I have one practical question, and that is I can't come to shul because of I live with my mom who's 97, and so if I bring home anything, you know, it'll be difficult. So Is there any place in the city where they're blowing shofar outside?
That's a very good question. Actually, we are planning because we're very, like you say, we're limited how many people we can have. Many people like yourself cannot come to shul. They're afraid to come to shul, or they can't come to shul. So we are going to be having a few outdoor shofar blowings on Sunday. Rosh Hashanah, Shabbat, and Sunday. Shabbat, there is no blowing of shofar. On Sunday, there's a blowing of the shofar. And you'll be able to hit two birds with one stone. You'll be able to do the tashlich by the water. We're going to do it by the water, the promenade. And so we'll have opportunities where people can come outdoors. Outdoors is much safer. As a matter of fact, I don't know what the president was hacking today. The vice president was hacking today. He wants everyone in America for the next 3 months to wear masks outdoors. Well, the scientists just told us that outdoors, it's very difficult to catch it outdoors. It's only indoors that you really have to be careful. But outdoors, you're passing through outdoor, it's very difficult to catch it. It's not something you catch easily like that. So, and the proof is all the riots. Hundreds of thousands of people are rioting and demonstrating as we speak, and it didn't seem to have any big effect. So outdoors is much safer. So we'll have outdoors. You can do the tashlich. We'll blow the shofar. Yes, we'll have that opportunity. And probably what we'll do, I have to do on Yom Kippur. We'll have an early minyan. Those who want to do a minyan, it'll be pretty brief and short, sweet. But then maybe we'll have a few yiskars. So give people an opportunity to come and do the yiskar. So, we're trying to figure it out. It's crazy times that we live in. It's unprecedented.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. This is a doctor's office. I have to take it. I'm going to mute.
Problem. Have a wonderful Shabbos, Shelley. All the best. And your mother should stay safe, and you. Anyone else? Yes, Ariella, how are you?
Baruch Hashem, thank you. I wanted to just thank you for a really, truly inspirational class and all the whole classes for the last 25 years. But and wish everybody Shabbat Shalom. And I wanted to also ask, when you mentioned earlier, Helen Friedman, is that the sister-in-law of Dave? I'm sorry.
Joe's sister. Yeah.
Right, Joe and Debbie. Oh, okay. Yeah, Thank you, Rabbi. Is there a Zoom Shiva that they're making, or you're not sure that they're going to give it?
I'm trying to. The Levaya was today. The funeral was this morning. Right. Tzvi was there, and I'm going to try. I'm trying to get the information. We'll send out how you can call or Zoom or email with condolences. Yes, that would be very meaningful. She was a very, very special lady.
She certainly was. I know.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Rabbi.
Best regards to Alex and Libby.
Thank you very much. And to everyone, the family, and to everyone here. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom. Mel, it's good to see you. You look great. Keep up the good work. Baruch Hashem. Mel, could you believe what's happening to the city? I don't want to go from a happy note to... You know what? I have to unmute you. Hold on. I think you have to unmute yourself. Oh, okay. Yes. Now we can hear you.
No, it's incredible.